March 29, 1961. Democracy in Action. The 23rd Amendment holds significant importance in American history. It granted residents of Washington, D.C., the right to vote in presidential elections, a privilege previously denied despite their fulfillment of civic duties. This amendment addressed a long-standing democratic deficiency and highlighted the evolving nature of American democracy. Washington, D.C., established as the nation's capital in 1800, was designed to be a neutral ground, free from state influence. As a federal district, it lacked representation in Congress and the Electoral College. This unique status resulted in the disenfranchisement of its residents, who, despite paying federal taxes and serving in the military, had no say in presidential elections. By 1960, the population of the district had grown to over 760,000, surpassing that of several states. Efforts to address this issue began as early as 1888, but it wasn't until the mid-20th century that momentum built for change. The civil rights movement of the 1950s and 1960s brought national attention to voting rights and equal representation. Advocates argued that denying D.C. residents the right to vote contradicted democratic principles. In 1959, Senator Estes Kefauver of Tennessee introduced Senate Joint Resolution 39, proposing an amendment to grant D.C. residents the right to participate in presidential elections. The resolution passed the Senate on February 2, 1960, with a 70-18 vote, and the House approved it on June 14, 1960. The ratification process proceeded swiftly. Hawaii was the first state to ratify the amendment on June 23, 1960, followed by Massachusetts on August 22, 1960. The momentum continued, and by March 29, 1961, Ohio and Kansas became the 37th and 38th states to ratify, meeting the 3/4 requirement for adoption. The 23rd Amendment stipulates that the district shall appoint electors equal to the number it would have if it were a state, but no more than the least populous state. This provision ensured that D.C. residents could participate in presidential elections without altering the balance of the Electoral College. The first election in which D.C. residents voted was in 1964. Since then, the district has consistently cast its electoral votes, predominantly for Democratic candidates. While the 23rd Amendment granted presidential voting rights, it did not provide congressional representation. D.C. residents continue to lack voting representation in the Senate and have a non-voting delegate in the House. This ongoing issue has fueled debates about D.C. statehood and further amendments to address this democratic shortfall. In summary, the 23rd Amendment marked a pivotal moment in American history by rectifying the disenfranchisement of Washington, D.C. residents in presidential elections. It underscored the nation's commitment to democratic principles and highlighted the ongoing challenges in ensuring equal representation for all citizens. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.